Okay, gonna do my chart review for 4/15/2019. Gonna do it on a larger time frame. This is a 8,000 tick chart, so you can see a little bit more of the um, market action here. So this was about the start of the day right here for today. Um, Need an arrow here. So we can see that it came down, in the first place that it found support was on this piece of uh, volume node right here, piece of price action, if you want to call it that. Let me change my pointer here. It found some support right across the top of it, bounced back up right into the bottom of the node of volume right here, was fairly weak and sold off all the way back down. I thought it would have found support right in here, and it did try and bounce. You can see on that stem right on that guy right there that it did, but it just too weak, broke through. And this was really the location right here. If you look across, what you have is you have the tops of multiple areas of price action right here on across these pivots. So this was actually the location that everybody was looking for to get long. Not to mention that it had that 2,900 price on the chart, which is a good, nice round number to get long on. You can see, if you look over here, you can see that this is a big node of volume right here, and then you have a big node of volume right here. And what happens is price usually trades down, and the first time that it comes into the volume, it'll bounce. It'll sometimes bounce around in the middle, and then it'll try another bounce right here at the bottom. Um, so there's typically three places that it's going to try and bounce from if you're going to try and get on and take a counter trend trade with it. And so you can kind of see that here in this little price action. So it came back up. This is like a little mini volume node right here. It hits the bottom of it, bounces away, comes back down. We would call this a higher low. And if we look on a lower frame chart right here, you're going to see that it came right back down across the tops of all of these. So there's like a little node right here, and this creates support. You can see that you had like 4 candles. I know it's very small, but you can see like the bottoms of like 4 candles right there, the tops of 2, the middle of all these other ones. That was a great area of support when it came back to visit that area. Can't see it on the bigger time frame charts, but you can definitely see it on the lower time frame charts. Finds the support right there, and again takes off. And again, like I said, it'll travel across the volume node right here. And where does it go? It goes up to the top. It tests the top right here, tries to pull back, busts through, and now it's actually testing the bottom of this other volume node right here. I know it's pretty hard to see, but if you look at the top of this guy right here, he's testing the bottom of this volume node right here. He sells off and comes back up, and guess what this guy's going to do? He's going to come up here, he's going to test the top of this volume node. I've already got a line. You can see even after hours, somebody stacked up right here at the top, right where my line is. And these lines have been here since this morning. They're just easy. They're kind of easy to pick out where to put your support and resistance line. So if I was taking trades, basically I'd be in line with these other people that are going to sell this area, and maybe they would have enough people on board to stop and reverse the action. You probably get a couple ticks back, and you could get a scalp out of it, right? So this was a pretty sideways day. Not a lot of price action in here. We might see something a little bit more on the lower volume chart, but again, this tested the top of this range when it sold off. It tried to make a bounce at the bottom of this range, fell through. So, and you can see that. So if we use the smaller time frame, we're talking about basically this area right here, right? It came down, tested the top of this node right here, came back up, tested the bottom of that node, came down. It tried to hold it, right? It had the support and resistance. Again, just same pattern as what you have down here. It's trying to hold right there, falls through. Guess what? It tests the other side of this volume node, tries to make a bounce, can't hold it, falls down. It's testing the top of another node that we can't see on the screen. Comes back up. Where's this first red bar right here? Where it tries to reject, bottom of this node, right? Too strong, continues up, starts to test the top of this node, the bottom of this node, pulls back. It's the same thing over and over again. You just need to start to be able to see these patterns. You don't know that it's going to really take off and give you a whole lot, but you can usually get a scalp out of it, and that's pretty much what I did today in my trades. So you can see I took the lines, I took the scalps, right? I took a couple ticks here and there. Again, here's the test of the top of that node, right? It comes back, tests the top of the node, takes off, goes back up. I tried to play that. Again, it comes down, bounces, plays it off. Probably shouldn't have took this one. It was probably going to fall through. I doubled up right here. Knew this was the best area of the chart. Went ahead and just rode it back up, and that was the best trade of the day right there. Shorted it off of this level. Didn't quite come up. Thought it was fairly weak. Got out early. Came back down. When it tested this area, I was all in. I was like 2 trades right here. Knew it was probably gone at that point. So pretty fairly predictable day. Especially the delta was pretty confirming here that we had a weak day. We were staying under the moving average on the delta. You can see right from the beginning it fell down. Pretty good bars. Sorry, you can't drag that quite through there. Came down, stayed under the moving average. Usually when it comes back to the moving average on the delta, that's usually where it's going to fall back down. Goes back down. This one comes back up. This is where it got stuck. Started to trade sideways against the delta. Finally makes it up above and over, and you basically know at that point that the tide's changing. Look at the depth of sell-off here versus the depth of sell-off here. You got a much higher low on the delta, so the selling had pretty much dried up. When you get up here, you got a little bit of like a kind of a divergence in your delta going right here, where the pullback's not very strong on the chart. It didn't move very far, but you can see that they sold it pretty hard in order to get out of their longs, but it really didn't move. So they were basically holding this market up with limit orders here, and then again it takes off strong. Doesn't even quite pull back. You can see that the delta is already pulling back all the way back to where it was. Doesn't quite make it down there. Buyers are definitely interested, and they buy this thing. You can already see after hours hit this line, tried to pull back, but it's already gone to the top up there. But not sure what else to say about this chart for the day, but yeah, that's what I see.